Sacred moments. Sacred moments with you. Sacred moments. Yeah. Enter in sacred moments. I'm here in this space on this day with you. I'm here in this sacred space witnessing the morning dew. Sacred moments. In voice and in victory, we will share our thoughtful view, conversing and even challenging things we thought we knew. Sacred moments. With expectancy and excitement is this time set aside. Won't you enter in with us? And come on, let's take this ride. Riding the waves of wonder and whimsy, we're not here to do silly or flimsy. We're sacred moments. We are here open to listen and engage and converse. You know I'm going to keep the triune God in sight and first. I'm here with you on this holy mountain of meaning, sharing vows and syllables, discussing powerful gleanings. It's sacred moments. With songs and sonnets and poems and prose, this is not just another one of those radio shows. It's sacred moments. It's sacred moments with me as your host, here to clear and create and commune with you from coast to coast. It's sacred moments. Enter. Sacred moments. Let me tell you something. That just chills me out every single time I hear that.
I'm glad you listened. I was like, you need to just write,
Yes, and listen, if anybody else wants openings to their shows, just contact me right here and we can make that happen. Alter Ego is a great producer. Listen. And we work together, collaborating. How would you like your show to have that kind of coolness in the morning? We are here for it. We are here for it. Oh my gosh, it really does help me though, honestly.
Yeah, it kind of sets the tone.
Sets the tone. Yeah. You know, I might do an upbeat one at some point. I've been talking about that for months now. You know, with the rap. Got to put my cap on backwards, you know, my big giant earrings.
I don't want you to do the hat on backwards though, but
no hat on backwards.
No.
How about the clock? A big clock, like what was that guy? What was his name?
Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav.
Yeah, I don't want you to do that either. But the rap part is cool. Oh my god. Where's the grandkids? Like, what is
cool? Man. Let me tell you though, one time I was at church, right? And I was preaching and I said something like, "Don't let me rap in here," or something like that. And I saw my granddaughter go under the pew like, "Please, Mom."
Please don't.
Don't do it. You know, I mean, you know, I'm liable to do anything, you know, so I ain't mad that they get mad because I think grandparents and parents should embarrass their children on at least a couple times a year.
Yeah, I know I do. Every time we go into the market, if it's music playing, I start dancing. The kids like, "Mom, like really?" Like every time. So.
Oh wow. Did we have a dance off one time with Aaliyah? Did we have that?
I think so. Was it like one of her parts? Something happened. I don't know. I'm always dancing. They always dancing. They get mad. So.
Yep.
This is what it is.
Exactly. Listen, we jump right in, audience, from coast to coast. From Africa to America, all over the world. We have jumped right in and started chitting and chatting because we have that kind of relationship. But we also want to say good morning to you. Good morning here in case you don't know, it is Sacred Moments. We're on live on many social media and radio shows every Sunday at 9 a.m. And we are happy to be here. We are excited to just chit chat with you and hear how your week was and all of that kind of stuff and have engaging conversations with our guests. So, listen, if you have the option to write in the chat, let us know where you're listening from. And also, how was your week? Because that's always our first question that Alter Ego and I ask each other. How was your week, guest? How was your week, listeners? How was your week, Alter Ego?
Again, I don't know. My week was kind of like a blur. It's kind of ending off a little rough. Like we had to, pray before we came on here. I'm dedicated to this show though, so I'm here. But it's been a little rough. But I know that it has to get better later. It just has to. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't really do anything. I think, just did things with the kids. They had their therapy and things like that. Ashad is talking more.
Yes.
Doing more sign language. So, those are some wins. But yeah, I tried the skinny girl popcorn. Skinny pop. Trying to I think that sugar and gluten, I think it might affect their autism some kind of way. So I'm trying to transition the whole house over to gluten free and sugar free. So I'm like, let me try it too, because I'm not supposed to have it either because of my weight. And I was waiting for them to go to sleep so I could eat it without them, right? Because I don't want to share my snacks. And they would not go to sleep.
Oh, God.
They would not go to sleep. It was like 1:00, and I'm sitting here looking at the popcorn like, do I want to try it and just tell them no? But they finally went to sleep probably 1, 2 o'clock. And I tried the popcorn, and it was so just lackluster. I waited all day to eat this popcorn because I thought it was going to be so good, and it wasn't. I was ready to DoorDash some some snacks from 7-Eleven.
Dang.
I know.
That was a letdown. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, it just has to be good. It just has to be
wow.
I see everybody eating it, but
yeah. I think I did try it, and it isn't popcorn. Back in the day, popcorn, we used to put it on the stove in a pot and put butter on it. Nothing beats that. Microwave popcorn is okay, but nothing beats that. Yeah. Good morning, Bertha. I see that you posted. Good morning. It's always good to have you with us. My week was filled with some surprises, some decisions that I needed to make that I made, and I was feeling really good about it. But like you, I was a little stressed out because I felt my autoimmune disease. I can always tell when it's related to stress. So I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I was like, I know what it is. I'm thinking too much about this situation that I need to not think about anymore.
Yeah.
So, I think God gives us triggers also to kind of tell us what's happening. And we do definitely need to listen to that. But it's the Lenten season, and I'm really happy about that because this is the season that, for me, I really try to rethink and remember and regard the work that Jesus did on the cross and his wilderness experience, as I say, from his wilderness to his woundedness. So, we're doing some things as corporately in church, and I'm doing some individual things, reading some scriptures more intently, a little bit more of a study. We're doing some fasting and things like that. So, so far it's been intense, but good,
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to keep it moving,
Yeah. I'm excited about our show today because our guest is looking so fly. I can't wait till you see her. I just brightened up in the morning okay, let me, maybe I need to look into some lipstick or something for the next show. The show good morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I did the same thing. And I can't wait for our audience to see her and we have this conversation. So we're going to just have her come on in, and our audience is going to be just again engaged and I hope that we get some comments and even some questions as we say good morning to this very beautiful woman that is gracing our airways. Nicole is with us this morning. And good morning, Nicole.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good, good. You look beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much. I had to learn my lesson to put some makeup on doing interviews like this early in the morning. I'll be like, I gotta get up and put it on.
Did a great job.
Thank you.
I was actually thinking about getting I haven't had my face made up since my sister got married. Maybe it was like 7 years ago, like professionally, right? Because I could do a little bit. But I was like, maybe it'd be a nice thing to do, like to kind of, I guess, spruce me up or, give me a look that I want to see whether I want to change up or something.
Like icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cake. That's it.
Oh.
I just told my best friend, I was like, I think for the podcast, I'm going to start getting dressed up. She was like, yeah, because last week I kind of mentioned it, but ultimately I want to have a TV show, right? And I want to have, like I was telling them last week, I want to have the mic and I want to be like, how did you feel when your mom left you? And then had a mom come out, right? And like surprise the person, like, well, your mom is backstage. Because we were watching the Nick Cannon show and I was like, oh, he looks nice. He had the suit on and everything. Mm-hmm. I was like, and I said, maybe I'll stand up the whole time, like put on some really nice clothes. And so I would have to do the makeup and all that and just start preparing, like kind of manifesting for the show.
Right.
And it's going to be a parody though. It's not going to be real. So I'm going to have,
I had to teach myself. I was horrible in the beginning. I was like, this, really? I was a tomboy. Mm-hmm. I was a tomboy all the way up into probably my early 30s. Even with boys, like I didn't carry a pocketbook. The only reason why I started carrying a pocketbook was because when I started going to church and I saw the other women carrying pocketbooks and I was like, oh, okay, that's not bad, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, you should have seen the beginning of me doing makeup. I was like, ooh, this is not good. Right. I look back at pictures. I was like, I thought I was doing something. I wasn't doing nothing. It was horrible. And my girlfriend said, thinking too hard. She said, you're thinking too much into it. Mm-hmm. And I was. And then I just started practicing and watching videos.
Yeah.
And teaching myself.
But they seem like it's so much to do. It's like do this here, and you got to have 16 different brushes.
Right. I don't do all that. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. I use probably 3 brushes.
Right.
Brushes and a sponge, and that's about it. I don't do all of that. When they talk about the numbers of the brushes and all this, I don't know that. You speak in another language when you talk to me about that. All I know is what I want. God has blessed me to be able to see something and be able to duplicate it. And that's what we're doing. I have a professional makeup artist for Nicole for the models.
Okay.
And I very rarely use her. I think I've only used her twice. But because I had to teach myself when I first started out doing anything, I did wigs on YouTube. And I didn't even get offended. The one lady was like, I think you would sell more if you put makeup on, because I would just come on plain face. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, at first I was like, well, what? And I was like, but you know what? She has a point. It was just a little bit more appealing. So as I started doing that, sales started boosting. And so I sometimes you got to take what people say and just, I feel like it's always in the way that you say it to someone.
I agree with that.
It's always the way you say it to someone. But I'm very receptive to people, giving suggestions and stuff like that.
But I also I would like the opportunity to ask too for suggestions, mm-hmm. Because there are some people that always want to give you a suggestion, mm-hmm. but yet you look at their life mm-hmm. and I'm like, I don't want to, like you giving me a suggestion, right? But so I have issues with that. But mm-hmm. people that I trust, people that I'm in a relationship with, mm-hmm. People that are honest, yes, give me suggestions.
Yeah,
like I know for me with Khadijah, right? Like the things that she does with producing and all that, I'm not giving her no suggestions.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to learn from her.
Right.
Now but we can talk about things, right?
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
that's what I mean by that.
Yeah. Some
Well,
people just gotta learn to stay in their own lane. That's all.
we have to ask our quirky question.
Okay.
So, if you were stuck on a desert island and you could only bring three things, what would they be?
What would they be? I would bring a sewing machine, thread, and some fabric.
That's it? Oh, what you gonna eat?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm gonna eat out of. There's no water around. Oh, we're in the desert, right? You said.
Well, a desert island, so I guess you could probably get
Because
some
when
fish.
you say island, I'm thinking it's surrounded by water. So I'm like, I'm gonna get some fish and some crab. And I'm gonna have to just learn how to eat it raw, I guess.
Some crab.
I guess I should have wait, because I watched Naked and Afraid, so I should know better than that. So I should know that I need to have a kettle and a fire starter. That's what I should have said. A kettle and a fire starter to purify my water. And then I guess I'm just gonna have to. I'm gonna be bored if I can't bring something to
Naked
to
and Afraid. What the heck is Naked and Afraid?
You haven't seen? Oh my God, it's my favorite. One of my favorite shows. I told you I was a tomboy, so I like to watch stuff about survival and everything. Like I always tell people, don't get the makeup and all that. I love designer. I love it. It is. I have really understood that is my calling. I love design. I love everything to do with fashion, from hair to clothes to jewelry. But underneath all of this is a whole. I don't want to say man because I'm not, but a tomboy. Like I really.
No, I understand because that's me. I'm sweats all day. Like as you're talking, I'm like, maybe I could just wear my sweatsuits with makeup.
I gotta teach. Right? I try to be cute because now, like when I go to the post office, if somebody sees me that follows me, I tell them all the time on the live. If y'all see me going to the post office, you're not gonna see this girl. You'll still have eyebrows on. I'll have eyebrows on, and I have regular everyday lashes that I wear. That I don't have to change every day because I don't have time. But mostly it's leggings or jeans and a t-shirt. And I'm a match, at least it's clean. Mm-hmm. But I don't do that all the time. But Naked and Afraid is a show, and my husband gets so upset. Like, why? They don't win anything. They take you to an island. Normally it's two people. It's a male and a female. They drop you off for a weekend. They have different shows where you could do a month or 2 weeks. And they take you to these places like you could be somewhere in Africa, you could be somewhere in Colorado, Alaska, and you're allowed to bring, in the beginning, you were allowed to bring two things. So most people will bring like the kettle, and some people will bring the fire starter or a knife. And you have to learn to survive on the land, but you're naked. But they don't show it on the show so that, everything is blurred out. Everything is blurred out, and they give you a pouch. They give you a pouch. But I love it because you get to learn a lot of things. Should there be a day that we need to survive? Because I feel like society now, we don't even know how to fish. We don't know how to garden or anything. We don't know how to do any type of farming. So, I feel like it's a lost art. So to watch that and know like what plants are poisonous, what aren't poisonous, different ways to survive, different snakes to be aware of. Like it's, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And my husband is like, this is the dumbest thing because they're torturing themselves for no money.
So they don't win anything at the end?
They don't win anything. It's just clout. And the thing is, it's like people hate to tap out. So you can tap out. There is a medical team there. Of course, there's a crew there filming. But you're not eating you're eating the food of the land that you're on. So you have to learn how to fish or eat crabs. And a lot of times people lose weight drastically because you're not eating 3 meals a day. There might be days that you don't have a meal at all.
But why are they naked? We can get to the show topic, but I'm like,
I'm like, okay, that's the last question.
I think they're trying to take it back to like in the beginning type of thing where they didn't have any, like, what would you do if you didn't have any clothes? Like, it's almost like with Adam and Eve, like they had no clothes and they had to live off of the beautiful land that God gave them. Now, when God did it, it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's
exactly.
But
Right.
But at the same time, it's kind of the same thing. What would you do if you had nothing and you had to learn how to survive off of the land yourself?
Mm.
And so they always bring the water, the kettle. A lot of people always get the kettle and the lighter because you have to purify your water. So a lot of the times people don't know, like even if you're getting water from a fresh stream,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it comes down to the, I guess like the body of water, sometimes bacteria and stuff like that can,
Yeah.
accumulate. Now, if you're getting it right from the spring and it's coming out, and that a lot of times if there's different rocks and stuff like that, because of the minerals, it's more beneficial and it'll filter the water more. But it's really interesting to learn and see how people can survive with nothing.
Mm.
Yeah. I think it is important to know certain things, like you said, farming and gardening and, things like that. And we are really living in a society where we don't know what's going to happen from moment to moment. We see that being played out
Right. I
right
mean, look
now.
at the supermarket. There's hardly anything. I went to the supermarket. There's no chicken. There's no bacon. There's no
Mm.
quick mix pancake mix. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's making all these pancakes? Where's the pancake mix? Everything is obsolete, and people are losing their mind.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to rethink how we want to live, mind, body, and spirit in this season that we're in. And
Absolutely.
yeah. So I don't think we veered off. I just think it was kind of interesting about this
Making
Megan and
it
Faye.
great.
And because when Khadijah was asking me like what is our topic, I chose the name this topic because of you and because of how I saw you. And for those that don't know, Kay Nicole was a guest at the Power Conference that we had in January with author B. Wright Jones and Valerie Sansel, who were our co-conveners of the Power Conference, and which is your mom.
My
And you
mama.
did, hey, hey, and you did a session for us that I watched twice.
Okay.
And so the topic that came to my mind for today for you was faith and fierceness. Faith and fierceness, because I felt, being a woman of a certain age, that you helped tap into even my fierceness as you were doing your presentation, kind of
Thank
giving your
you.
testimony, talking about that journey for you. So
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about yourself, and so the audience will know exactly who we're talking to and about.
So, my name is Kia. So, I am the owner, CEO, all of that of K Nicole Collections. And I do custom clothing. We do factory made clothing. We do alterations. We do styling. And I wanted to do everything. I wanted to incorporate everything to help women feel and look beautiful. I know it was hard. It was very hard for me to actually do that presentation because in the invite it was saying I want you to speak on how you could become confident with the clothing. And my thing is, like I said, that's the icing on the cake.
Mhm.
If you don't have confidence within yourself, you can wear the most fashionable pieces in the world, and it doesn't that's not what's going to build your confidence. A lot of the times you see people out here, they're like, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and behind closed doors they're none of that.
Hmm.
It's just like, um it's just, it was hard. It was hard for me to do it. My husband was like, well, speak about what you went through, and how you became confident. And I feel like confidence is such a big subject. I feel like you can't put everything into what we had, which was 5 minutes to talk about how to become confident. I mean, it took years for me to become confident. When I was young, I used to get teased all the time because I was light, because I was tall, and I mean like all the time. I had long hair. People used to tease me, tell me they want to cut my hair off. People
Mm.
used to tease me because, my nana. I live with my nana, which was my great grandmother, and she's the one who taught me how to sew. My cousin taught me how to sew.
Oh,
That's how I
wow.
learned how to do a lot of things around the house. Like I put down all the floors in the house.
Mm.
Um,
Wow.
So those are all the things that I learned, but though, those things didn't flourish until I started becoming more confident in who I was and being okay with being tall, being okay with being light, you know, um, and all of those different things. So that's why I said it would have been hard for me to really try and talk about what you need to do to be confident. It's a long journey. It's an ongoing journey, really. But yeah, that's what I love to do clothing. I love when women come back and they're like, oh my God, girl, I wore the outfit and I just felt so good. And we had women come in and we for our relaunch, we had this new young lady come in and she was plus size and she came with someone and they were a little bit smaller and everything that her friend gave her was something dark, right? I didn't notice this.
Mm.
This was my lead seamstress seeing all of this and telling me what happened behind the scenes. And when she came in, she was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I could wear that. And everything that her friend was giving her was something dark color, right? So we had this dress. So it was black, but it had flowers all on it. It was an absolutely beautiful dress. And my lead seamstress was like, put this on. And she was like, I can't put that on. That's not going to look right on me. I don't feel. And she said, put it on. She put it on and came out, and everybody that was there was like, oh my God, you look so nice. And she was like, I really do look nice in this outfit. So to see that from someone who didn't feel like they could put that on or pull that off and then come out and feel like, oh my God, I love this. And then her to go home and say, I had such a great experience at the relaunch. I loved it. And I'm just so thankful. I'm going through a divorce. It's real, like just spill everything and say thank you for helping me feel more confident in myself that now I want to start, doing things. And for me, she said, because I've always done stuff for my husband. So now it's time to focus on me. So that within itself is just what makes me so excited. I love it every time. I can't get tired of that.
So, I guess what I heard you say, because I also feel like in my sixth decade of living, and probably in this space over the last maybe year, I also feel like my confidence has grown in myself. But I'm going to ask, like, when was the point where you recognized that, one, that you didn't have it, and two, that you either needed to have it or it was beginning to grow in you? Like, there were things, like, I'm sure that they were what markers maybe, or signposts to say, wait a minute, this is not who I am here, and this is who I am aspiring to be and to become. Like, where was the journey of that for you, maybe?
Um, I don't really know. I think when I really started to think more about myself, I had a conversation with one of my girlfriends, and I think my sons might have been, maybe they were in middle school. Because as a mother, you get lost in your children. You get, even as a married person, you get lost in your husband, and you lose who you are. It takes the back, you takes the back seat. You take the back seat to your own life. And I was so frustrated. I was frustrated financially because my husband is the number one bread owner. But he also spoils me. So I felt bad because I was just like, I want this. And then I'm like, I can't get it, and I was like, it's just so many things that I want to do that I can't do. Because my first love was doing home decor. I was doing reupholstery. I was doing all of that. And I was
Wow.
just like, I just want to, get the house and make it feel like a home. And anybody who has a family, like it's called nesting. You just want to get the house together so you feel like you can function. And I just was getting so frustrated with a lot of things. And I just was like, I don't know what I want to do. And my girlfriend, I was on the phone with my girlfriend and I was talking to her about it. And she said, you got to start to find you. Like, you got to get back. You are not the you that I went to high school with that was like, I want to do this and I want to do fashion. I want to do art. She was like, you got to find that person again. You got to find
Mm.
her. And it woke me up because I was like, you're right. I have lost myself in all of these things. Um, and I just started doing things little bit by little bit. Um, and people starting to recognize. So when I started K Nicole, it was because I'm tall. plus size, but I don't have those curves. I don't have those thighs. I don't have that voluptuous booty. I don't have all those things. I've always said, Lord, why not? But it's all right. It's okay. But I started making clothes for myself, because when I would go to the stores, so if it was supposed to be a fitted jean, the crotch of the jean would hang low because I don't have those thighs to fill them out.
I
So
got
I
you.
had to usually buy men's jeans. And so I would wear them. And then I said, I'm gonna start cutting them up and like see if I can make something for myself, make my own patterns, and started doing that. And then people started seeing things in me like, oh, okay. All right, Kia, I want you to make this. And I was like, well, I can't, because I made the clothes for me,
Right.
like catered to me. So I can't. And then another thing that really sparked Hey Nicole was, and I tell this all the time, and people are always like, oh my gosh. So at my church, and I don't want anybody to think this is any shade, because at the end of the day, this is what had to happen. A lot of people get upset about the bad things that happen, but they need to happen sometimes in order to shake you up to move in a direction that you need to move in, right? So I was called into the office. My pastor and myself and my husband, we always have a good relationship. And he was like, what do you want to do? You got so much in you. What do you want to do? And I said, you know what? I want to style you. That's what I want to do. Let me style you for when you go on different events, you and your wife. And, because sometimes when you do videos, I said, I'm very open. So, I wasn't doing it to be offensive, but I was like, it looked like you just got off your couch and just said, let me do a video. I want you to, be able to portray what you're trying to give out. So he was like, okay, great. All right, cool. And I left and I was like, good, this would be great. This is an open door. This is something that I can start to do, and just, something that I know I'm going to love to do, and it'll be great. So there was another person at the church that I didn't even know about that wanted to do the same thing. And I never got a call like, hey, this is what we want to do, whatever. And the next thing you know, I see pictures put up of them when they went to New York and someone else styled them. And when I tell you, I was crushed. I was like, wow. Whew, okay.
Yeah.
And then, so in that very moment, because I don't drive. So in that very moment, God started saying, maybe there's some things in you that right now at this point, you wouldn't be able to do that. Like, you don't drive. Maybe there's somebody right away and you wouldn't be able to get there, or, there might've been other things that they saw in me that would not work for what I actually brought up, but whatever. But when God showed me, like, maybe this is what you need to check about yourself. It was an eye opener, and that's what pushed me. So my thing is, when you say I can't, you might as well just say I can, because that you just pushing me to prove you wrong. So that was the push. That was the push for me to really start Hey Nicole. I was in my bathroom. I was sitting at the makeup table, and I was like, Lord, I really want to do this clothing thing. But my thing is, whatever business, because I've done a few businesses. So whatever business I do, I always try to weigh out the pros and cons financially. How is this going to help my family? Am I going to get this money back that I'm investing? Yeah. Because it's not just for me. I have a whole family that will be taking money from. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting at the table, and I'm like, I was like, I don't know what to do. And God said, you cannot be afraid to fail. Just that simple. I have that on my in my store. 2016, he said, you cannot be afraid to fail. And I think that's a lot of times what happens to people is you're afraid of failure. Not failure. I don't even think it's failure to yourself. A lot of times I think, especially now with social media, people are scared to fail in front of someone else. Mm-hmm. And they're afraid that someone's going to say, see, I knew she wasn't going to be able to make it. Mm-hmm. I knew she wasn't going to be able to do that. And that's where God was like, you can't be afraid of that. You can't worry about that. You have to put that to the side. Whatever I give for you is for you. And you can't worry about what somebody else has to say. That's their problem. That's their issue. Yeah. And so when he did that, and I just started doing the clothes again, I'm an introvert, believe it or not. I can do this because y'all not here. Mm-hmm. And when my girlfriend called me and said, hey, I want you to do my outfit for the finale for Atlantic City Fashion Week. I was like, I can't do that. And she was like, yes, you can. So we did her outfit, and then she told me about another fashion show. And she said, yeah, call the girl up. And I was like, call her up. I don't want to talk. I'm like, she's a stranger. So I did it. I got off the phone. I was like, you did it, girl. So I called her. We did that fashion show. That fashion show took off. Soon as I did that fashion show, I was asked to be on the cover for a premiere of a plus size magazine in New York. We did another, someone that was there was like, hey, I need 4 outfits by this date. Can you do it? Excuse me, for the model to be on the cover. She's going to have a spread. Sure. And then it just started taking off.
So it seems like you went from I can't in yourself saying it to now knowing you can. Like I can is no longer words that you have to say anymore, or within your own self, if you understand what I mean. Yeah.
And it's scary. It's a scary place, but you gotta, the thing is, I will say I have a good support team. I definitely, like my husband, even down to my boys, they know what I do. Like I'll sew, my youngest we share a table. So it's a double desk. And so I'll be sewing. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this no more. I'm done. And he's like, you can't quit. And I'll be like, well, you ain't sewing. He'd be like, okay.
like I said, you can't quit.
Right. So, and that's something that I have to, sometimes I have to tell myself. I told, it's an ongoing thing. Some days you look at stuff. I did a project for our fashion show that we're premiering today online publicly. And I've done this duffel bag 4 times, but because of the new lining that I put in, it made me question my career.
Charmaine said, yes to it being an ongoing journey. Valerie Stansel said, you are amazing, not because you're her daughter, but because you are. Anna said, that's a word, you cannot be afraid to fail. And then Valerie says, some folks have imposter syndrome too. And I wanted to ask you, with you being an introvert and, a tomboy at heart, like, do you do anything to prepare yourself before you do like a show, or like if you have to be in the front? I know you said you do your lives. Like, what do you do to prepare yourself to do that? I know I have to go through a little bit before I can come on because I'm an introvert too. Like, what do you do? Do you have any techniques or something that you do to kind of?
I try to calm myself down. I just talk to myself like, you got this. Don't worry about it. Like, even so, I used to do lives every Thursday, and then because it was slowing up, I started doing them every other Thursday. And you would think that every time, like, I should be used to it, but I do get still nervous because in my mind, when you're doing, now when I'm buying factory bought clothing and things like that, I'm putting money out. So now I'm like, okay, I put this money out and I invested, but who is going to reinvest and, so I can get my money back? Because again, my thing is I always want to make sure that I'm not taken away from bills or anything that needs to be done in the home. But I just talk to myself. Well, I had to host my first show. I asked God, I said, God, I would love to host a show. And I'm sure he probably is like, are you sure you want to host the show? And I hosted the show. And when I tell you, nobody knew, but I was having a whole anxiety attack in my head. I had the worst headache and my heart was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I was like, calm down. You got this. Like, I had to just constantly like, all right, you got this. Calm down. It's just people. It's just people. And I went out there and I killed it. And I was so, and of course, since you're when you're done, you're like, it's like a whole job. It takes so much out of you. People don't believe it. When I'm like Friday after live, I'm like, I'm not doing anything but the basic necessities, because that takes a lot out of me.
Yeah, that's why I try to like record like all within the same time, like, or day, so that I can. It's just,
right.
I don't know what it is and why it's that way, but I just think that that's like your journey is just really, it's inspiring. And I hope that people listening are inspired just to go to the point of, I can't do this. Like you said that a few times. Somebody said, I need you to do something. You're like, what? I can't. And somebody said, I need you to do something. You're like, what? I can't. And ultimately you could.
Right.
And you did. And that led you to the next opportunity, the next, experience. Like, how do you, like, market and grow your business now? Like, and are you still doing handmade pieces?
So I just did a virtual fashion show because COVID has shut a lot of things down. And it was hard for me because I haven't done a fashion show in probably 4 years. Basically I just started doing the factory made clothing and styling and bags and shoes and all that different stuff. And I said, you know what? I've been itching to get at the sewing machine. So we did a fashion show, and we did a private buyers fashion show. And what I do is I just advertise. My husband is amazing. He's my photographer. He's my videographer. So if I need a commercial, I just give him an idea and we just put it up. And we're doing commercials and stuff. But now, recently, I said I'm going to redo my Instagram for more so just for my fashion, and then the Facebook will do the lives and all that different stuff. But yeah, we just did that, and we had about 15 people come on, so they paid for their ticket. And the ticket included, like, we sent out, like, if you've been to a fashion show, they have like the little VIP bags, and so we sent out snacks. And I was going to send water because normally you get business cards and little goodies and a water. But because of with the shipping, and I said I don't want to hear the post office say something with the water, so I just was like, we'll just send out the goodies. So they got their goodies in time for them to watch the show, and they had a couple of friends. Some people had friends over, and they did like a little watch party, and actually got to do the virtual show. And then, like I said, we're going public today at 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock they'll get to see it. So this is one of the pieces we had in the show.
I love it.
But yeah,
where can they see the show today at 12?
Yes, today at 12. It'll be on our Facebook page.
Okay. And so
K Nicole. Okay.
K Nicole, it's so on your Facebook page is K.Nicole.
Yes. So no underscore, just K Nicole. K.Nicole Collections, no underscore. Are you going to put it on Instagram too, babe? So we'll be putting it on Instagram too.
Great.
So he'll put it on Instagram as well.
Yeah, we really like promoting, business and ministry. That's part of, especially Khadijah's calling is really to, be a community to help all of us grow, thrive, be our best selves, mind, body, and spirit. So that's something that I really appreciate that. So we are very interested in having our listeners be at the show and to see it live. We think you are amazing.
Thank
Faith,
you.
fierceness. Our shows always go so quickly, but I'll just say in the last few minutes that we have, how would you say, because our show is based on faith and really just living out the life that God wants us to live. So how would you say your faith plays a part in how you are becoming more courageous, more confident, the things that now that I can't is no longer statements that need to be said? How does your faith play a part in that?
My faith plays a big part every single day. My faith plays a big part. I have conversations with God all the time, just like we having a conversation right now. Yeah. And again, you guys heard me say I can't all the time, and in the back of my mind and tapping me on the shoulder, you can. This is what you're made for. One fashion show that I went to, nobody wanted to wear my stuff, and I was like, I'm not worthy to be here. I just want to go. And God was like, you're worthy to sit at this table. And so those are, I have daily conversations with him. Me and my husband, we're always having conversations about God and how we can put it into our business. And I do it on the lives. I talk about God a lot on my lives. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have none of this. Of this. Yeah. And as I get bigger and bigger, I always ask him to give me wisdom in my movement, in my next movement. I always need wisdom, and I always want to be an open book to people. I don't want to, some people say, oh my God, that's just so amazing that you share that you believe in God. Well, why not? Yeah. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
So I don't have fear in saying that.
I appreciate that. because I really believe that what we believe in is really the center
Mm-hmm.
of our life. It really offshoots every area. I'm into this triune mind, body, and spirit, and what I believe about God, what I believe about myself, what I believe is possible. Do I, I'm in my sixth decade. I feel like I'm just beginning again to even in the season of I call wisdom or eldership, to be able to see beyond and to be able to do things that previously, like you, I was saying, I can't do that. Well, I'm going to try to do it now. And I may fail, as they say, but it really won't be a failure. It will be a lesson of
If
how to move forward.
Really quickly, if anything right now, because of everything that is going on in the world, the last thing I was saying on my live is do what God has purposed you to do. Do what you want to do for yourself. Do what you want to do. If it's not hurting anybody, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because this time has showed us that tomorrow is
That's
definitely not promised
right.
at all.
Right.
And if you look at all the people who are famous and who have done extravagant things, they started doing it after the age of 40. And I feel it's because you're starting to live life, you're starting to get wisdom. I'm not saying that young people can't do it, because they absolutely can. But life is a teaching moment every single day.
I
So
love that.
listen, so you have to just take those lessons and learn from them.
And
Learn
learn
from the
from them.
good and the bad. The
Yeah.
bad teaches you something.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the bad is just there to tell you not to do it again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or
Failure
how to
can,
go about it when it comes again, how to go around it.
yeah. Failure can actually catapult you to the place that you're supposed to be, to
Absolutely.
get you from the place that you were. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's another story. We'll continue that later. I mean, Dee, unless you have anything else.
No, just make sure you check out the fashion show today at 12. Nicole Collections.
Yes.
Also make sure you check out Sacred Space Ministries Friday, Facebook Live at 6:30 with Reverend B. Michelle Horton. And then you can check out our shows on our website, bestiesbusiness.org, or you can go to bestiesmedia.com and you can watch all of our shows. And that's it. That's all I had.
We want to thank our guest today, Nicole. It's been
Thank
another
you.
engaging conversation. We are so happy to have you. You're shining. Your light is so bright. So do not ever dim it. And you go out there and be the light of the world for yourself, for your family, and for your faith. So have a wonderful week, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on Sacred Moments. And please check out all the websites that we talked about, and especially the show today. I'm sure you will not be sorry that you did. You will not be sorry that you watched. So peace and blessings. Have a great week, everybody. Until next time.
Thank you.
Bye.